Hello, welcome to another video by Help You Excel. Today I'm going to show you a gas pipe diameter calculator that I'm helping a plumber to develop. In this video, the biggest takeaway is going to be how much easier data layout can make your calculations when you lay them out correctly. So firstly, let me show you what he's trying to accomplish. Okay, there are different tables like this in the code book, and depending on your situation, different tables apply. So here's a table that applies in one situation, different table that applies in a different situation. This first table says if you're using Schedule 40 metal pipe, inlet pressure is less than 2 psi with a pressure drop of ½ inch WC. I'm not sure what that is. Specific gravity 0.6. Okay, so if those values are true, then you use this table. Here's another table where everything's the same except for the pressure drop is greater. In that case, then you use this table. Okay, and then he hasn't typed in the values, but here's another table with different rules where your pressure drop is 6, etc. So you'll have different rules. Okay, so what he wants to be able to do is select which set of rules or which table to use. So for this example, let's use table 2. Okay, so all I did to begin with is I've got a reference here where there's the different tables. Each one is given a number. This is just table 1, 2. Drag this down if you have additional tables. Just have to make sure that each one of these table numbers is unique, etc. Okay, you can have as many as you need to have. This formula here, then this just does a lookup so that when they choose this user-friendly, human-readable option, it gets you the table number. Okay. Now, to read this table, so right now we're looking at, let's go to table 1 for just a moment. What he's done, what he'd like to be able to do is down here, he wants to be able to enter some data and be able to say, okay, we're going to install an oven broiler. This does a lookup to figure out how many BTUs an oven broiler is. That's found here on this ref tab. Oven broiler is 23 BTUs. Okay, go down here, choose something else, whatever. Gas light. Okay, this one is 50 feet from the meter. This one's 75 feet from the meter. This one's 100 feet from the meter. Okay, so to read these tables, to figure out your pipe, you need to know the total BTUs of your run and the appliance that's furthest from the meter. Okay, so here, total BTUs, simple, just add up these values, piece of cake. Total developed length is just the greatest number in this column, so max function, easy enough. The hard part then is we got to translate that into a pipe diameter. So looking at the table, remember we're looking at table 1, so let's go with his original layout. This is the table we want to look at. Start with total feet. So we scroll down here, 100 feet. So what this is saying is up to 100 feet, you'll look at this row here. Okay, total BTUs, 225. Now we can use that to look across. It's greater than 195, we can't use that, so we gotta go to the next one higher. So 1.25 inches. Okay, so if you were looking at this in the code book, that's how you would do your lookup. And for a human reading a table like this, this layout makes a lot of sense. In Excel though, if I were to write a formula to do that same thing, it's possible, but I'd have to really scratch my head how to get that to go. And it would be a lot more complicated than if we lay out the values a little differently. So the way that I've changed it is I've changed it into a tabular format. And if you think about the way that we're looking at these, this is what that table is really telling me. So if your total feet is between 0 and 10 feet, your BTU is between 0 and 172 feet, use a 1/2 inch pipe. So let's go back to the original format right here. So this is saying 0 to 10 feet, 0 to 172 feet, use this size pipe. And if we go down here, let's say this one. So this is saying between 350 and 400 feet with BTUs up to between 92 and 189, use 1.25 inch pipe. Okay, so if I were to find this on my table, so what is this? 400 by 189. So let's find this on our table. It'd be easier doing it this 1.25 inch. So find it 1.25 inch. There you are. I just saw you. There you are. Okay, so this row here represents this value here. So 1.25 inch. So let's look at this. So between 350 and 400 BTU, okay, or feet, sorry, between 350 and 400 feet, and between 92 and 189, and between 92 and 189. So if all of these criteria are true, there's 5 criteria. Table number, remember we choose the table number here at the beginning. If the table number is true, if it's greater than or greater than 350, less than or equal to 400, so that's criteria 3, greater than 92, less than or equal to 189. So these are my 5 criteria. Is it table 1? Is it greater than 350? Is it less than or equal to 400 on the feet? Is the BTU greater than 92? Is the BTU less than or equal to 189? If it is, pipe diameter 1.25. Okay, so in computer terms, that's what this table is telling me. So I'm going to lay it out in a way that the computer is going to be happier with. Okay, so the way I did that then is it just becomes, because I have unique row number, this number here is unique, and only one row is going to satisfy all 5 of those criteria. Okay, so it's either going to be row 123 or it's going to be 132 or something. Only one row will satisfy all those criteria. So that allows me then to use a simple multi-criteria if, or sum if, sorry. So what I'm saying is table ID is this column. So it's saying sum the values of table ID. So sum every row that meets the following criteria. And the way I've laid out the criteria, only one row is going to meet that criteria. So what I've said is BTU min must be less than L9. So you can think of it in reverse. L9 must be greater than BTU min. BTU max must be greater than or equal to L9. So again, in reverse, L9 must be less than or equal to BTU max. Feet min must be less than L10. L10 is this one. So in other words, feet must be greater than the feet min. Feet max must be greater than or equal to L10. So in other words, 100 feet must be less than or equal to the feet max. And then table number data, that refers to this column. So this is my table number. That's my 5th criteria. Table number must equal M8, which is my value right here. So this is going to return back the row number. So row number 130 is going to be the row where my value is. So if I look here, 130, does that meet all of the criteria? So table number is 1. Feet, which is here, is 100. Oops. Is it greater than 90? Yes. Is it less than or equal to 100? Yes. So we've met 3 of the criteria, 2 to go. Next is the BTUs, 225. Is the BTU greater than 195? Yes, it is. Is it less than or equal to 400? Yes, it is. So 130 is the correct row. Okay, so this tells me which row I need. From there, it's a simple lookup. You could use VLOOKUP. I prefer to use index match. All this is doing is it is telling you, okay, I know it's row 130. What is the pipe diameter found on row 130? Okay, if I were to change this to the other table or the other set of rules, I get row 610. So let's look at row 610. Wrong one. 610. Scroll down here. Too far. Row 610. Let's see if we did this right. So it has to be table 2. There's table 2. That's my first criteria. The total feet, my total feet is 100. So is total feet greater than 90? Yes, it is. Is it less than or equal to 100? Yes, it is. So far so good. BTU 225. Is it greater than 131? Yes, it is. Is it less than or equal to 273? Yes, it is. So it tells me the value that I need is on row 610. Do a lookup. Row 610 tells me 3/4 inch. Okay, so now I can put in, let's say this one is a lot further away. Okay, that's going to tell you 2.5 inch pipe. Okay, or if I put in a whole bunch more of these oven broilers, okay, my total BTUs goes way up. Let's go back to schedule table 1. I need a 3-inch pipe. So let's check that. Let's see if it's right. So let's look at our original table first and figure this out. Total length, 500. So that's this row right here. BTUs, 1070. Be this one. 3-inch pipe. Okay, perfect. Let's look at it this way, the way it's laid out now. So first thing we need to figure out is table 1. So let's just auto filter so we get the right table. Table 1. Total developed length 500 feet. So we'll go down here. Right here. So greater than 450, less than or equal to 500. BTUs 1070. Okay, this row doesn't work because not enough BTUs. So let's start with BTUs. Let's go 1070. Let's go down here and find the right one for 1070. Okay, let's do this. Gets a little hard for humans. See, the humans don't think this way. Computers love it. Okay, so here's all the ones that are 500 feet. Okay, now we can figure out our BTUs. 1070. So here we go. So 1070 is greater than 771, less than or equal to 1360. My BTUs are greater than 450, less than or equal to 500. I need a 3-inch pipe. Okay, so the data is all the same, looks different, it's laid out differently. That makes this formula to figure this out a whole lot simpler just by changing the way the data is laid out. When in doubt, just as a general rule of thumb, it's not a 100% absolute rule, but it is a really good rule of thumb. when you're laying out your data, try to lay it out so you have fewer columns and more rows. So if we were to look at this, this has how many columns? There we go. This has 15 columns, right? Yeah, 15 columns and 41 rows. The way I've laid it out, we've only got 7 columns, but we've got 561 rows. So far fewer columns, far more rows. When you lay out your data in this way, your Excel formulas will be a whole lot simpler. And when you, as an Excel developer, when you make the shift in your brain between laying out data like this versus laying it out in a tabular format, it'll be a real big aha moment to make writing your formulas a whole lot easier, and it really opens up the power of Excel to be able to do a lot of things that it's achievable this way. It's a lot harder. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at paul@huexcel.com. You can also find me at my website, huexcel.com. If this video is helpful to you and you liked it, please give me a like. If you want to see more like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.